Hello, and good evening, America. Today is Monday, August 3rd, 2020, and this is your daily novel coronavirus briefing from the United States State Media. Today marks the official beginning of the countrywide emergency response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Due to rapid increase in cases, coupled with increased protests, riots, and lawbreakers, the Executive Office of the President has moved forward with an official emergency response to deal with said crisis. As discussed last week, this means a slight change to essential business operation, and all businesses deemed non-essential must close immediately. Please be aware that the federal definition of essential is slightly different from that of the state or county levels. The only businesses that may remain in operation, without exception, are grocery stores, gas stations, hardware stores, and pharmacies. These businesses may only provide the necessary goods and must restrict their intake to 10 people at a time, without exception. Stores that sell pet goods, hunting equipment, and luxury goods, previously deemed essential, have now been asked to close immediately. Due to the new knowledge that animals are able to transmit this virus, all animal shelters, zoos, and adoption agencies must close their doors immediately and euthanize all species within, without exception. All staff at veterinary services are asked to report to the nearest hospital ward for testing, and if cleared, will immediately report to a COVID ward for assistance. Since our country's rise in cases, our medical facilities have reached their limit multiple times over. As such, all emergency military ships and vessels will be utilized in treating patients. While this will help alleviate some of the burden, we have taken additional steps in order to decrease the load on hospitals. The first is a removal of all specialized wards in hospitals, included but not limited to cancer wards, NICU wards, and ICU hospital wards. These will be converted into triage areas for COVID patients. Next, we will be requiring hospitals to limit the number of admitted patients to those with a high survival chance. This means anyone with pre-existing medical conditions previously outlined, or those individuals over the age of 50, will be mandated to remain home and disconnected from any and all emergency response lines, without exception. Thirdly, the majority of firefighters and police officers in this country have paramedic training, and will, in fact, be asked to report to the nearest COVID ward for service. Please avoid fires, as well as any situations that may require medical assistance, as the majority of police and firefighters will be moved to those units and will be unable to respond. Finally, the U.S. military will be stationed outside essential businesses and hospitals in order to enforce these new regulations, lockdowns, and curfews. They have been authorized to use lethal force if necessary. In accordance with the new COVID Response Act, all district courts will no longer be accepting new cases. In accordance with the new COVID Response Act, all state-level courts will be unable to accept new cases. In accordance with the new COVID Response Act, all federal courts, including appellate courts and the United States Supreme Court, will cease operations immediately, be dismissed, and will not accept new cases. Before wrapping up, I would just like to remind everyone that emergency powers have been granted to the Executive Office and all congressional houses, including the United States Supreme Court, the United States House of Representatives, and the United States Senate, have been dismissed and all powers sent to the Executive Office. This is only due to the current crisis, and things will obviously return to normal once this crisis has passed. The Office of the President would like to apologize for any inconvenience or sacrifices that may be required of you. We truly hope that this is over soon. Now, please stand for the mandatory national anthem.